Here's a go up to Newsark, Wednesday 15th December 2021. Look front the papers. First up, New York Times, nice graph. Better rich countries are better at using their jab than poor countries. Over on the left, Donald Trump having his loans investigated. He's not going to like that. Over on the right, Mark Meadows. Down here, Andrew Cuomo has to give up all the earnings from his book. Wall Street Journal, aftermath of the storms, Pfizer, Delta, COVID, tornadoes, millennials power housing market. Good stuff, getting the reputation in order eventually. Daily News condemned the shit. That was Donny Jr. texting Mark Meadows to tell his daddy to ask him to please stop. New York Post, girl boss alert. That's Keisha Sewell. She's the new NYPD commissioner, first woman to ever hold the post, and also a woman of colour. So, nothing like starting the day with a bit of intersectional authoritarianism. Lots of that under the Sleepy Joe government. Chicago Sun-Times, Christmas ahoy, yeah, let's go ho ho. National Post, Canada, Omicron. Down here, Liberals edge ever closer to the precipice. Yeah, here's hoping. Toronto Sun, lost for words. Apparently the Ontario Public Service have said you can't use terms like cakewalk and hold down the fort. So some kind of clickbaity culture war headline. Grandma from Cuba, there's Raul Castro out high-fiving the kiddies. President of Bolivia is on a visit there at the moment. He brought donations of food and medicines with him. Down the bottom, quote from Fidel. We have to unite not only those of the Caribbean and those of Central America, but also South America. They need it as much as we do. Correct, yes they do. And they got shafted by the CIA almost as much as you did, Fidel. Thank you, rest in peace. South Africa's Zondo outsourced reports, so Judge Zondo has to release a report about the state capture. And he basically consulted with a think tank closely aligned with the government, so people are calling it unconstitutional, corrupt, which it probably is. Jerusalem Post down here, United Arab Emirates tells the US it will suspend talks on buying F-35's $23 billion deal, so the UAE are pulling out of it now, maybe. Beside that, Naftali Bennett was there yesterday. Are these two stories linked? Not for me to say. Tehran Times, big map of all the Israeli army outposts in Israel. Just one wrong move, that's Iran saying that if Israel shoots at us, we'll shoot back. The Hindu, inflation spikes record as food and fuel prices surge. Food prices, of course, historically a catalyst for civil unrest. Let's see how that goes for Australia. The Australian, profile of an entrepreneur there, COVID budget, Global Times, there's Anthony Blinken in Indonesia. Beside that, story about the EU basically saying, are the EU going to follow suit with the US and not send diplomats to China? The answer is they probably won't do it at an EU level, maybe some of the countries will. Down the bottom, Omicron, Irish Examiner, schools will not be shut early, even though they're one of the biggest vectors of Omicron infection. Good stuff. Down here, direct provision, €91 million bill broke public spending law. Direct provision is basically government mandated refugee camps, which are contracted out to private sector. The responsibility was passed over to a different department there recently, and the new department said, hey, the old department did all these contracts and they broke public spending law by not putting them out to tender. They just gave them to their mates or whatever. And when the old department were asked about it, they said that's a matter for the new department. So no one in government will have to answer for it, and the refugees will still suffer, as always. Irish Times, boosters, true crime, Irish Daily Mail, bit of hardcore thirst posting on the right hand side. Over here, the lottery has rolled over 54 times in Ireland and is now worth €19 million. So people are losing faith in the lottery. They're not going to play anymore. So the chief of the lotto has to go to the government and ask them, can you please run a lottery where it's a must-win lottery? So someone has to win all the money, because, all our institutions are crumbling and failing. We can't let the lotto slide as well. Irish Sun, a little bit thirst posting on the left. Football, boosters, true crime. Belfast Telegraph, attacks on NHS staff. The Herald, football, lockdown. Little story here about a girl who was murdered last year. RIP. Financial Times, inflation line goes up. IMF looking for interest rate rises. Top left, capitalism works. Okay, good to know. Down here, hard to see. Ukrainian tensions propel gas prices. Gas prices line go up. Who's causing the Ukrainian tensions? That's right, our boy Vlad the cab driver. Good work if you can get it. Over on the left here, Johnson, setback, rebellion, more on that in a sec. The Guardian, there's Boris Johnson, looks like he's just been arrested for a sex crime in a park. The Times, COVID, that girl who was murdered. Independent, 4 stories on top. Hospitality, Boris, COVID, cricket. Girl who was murdered, Omicron. Daily Telegraph, Alison Pearson up top. Alison Pearson and one of the Tory MPs who backed vaccine passports are traitors. Yeah, so good opportunity now for the Libertarian wing of the Tory party to get the knives out for Boris as they were voting on the vaccine passports. 100 of the Tories turned around and voted against them, which a lot of people obviously know is not really a vote against the restrictions as such, although it does give them good ideological cover and clout with their electorate to say, yeah, we voted against the passports. It's obviously a vote against Boris, the man himself. Down here, Omicron. Down the bottom left, Duke's accuser may have false memories. That's him, the Duke of York, Prince Andrew, Andrew Albert Christian Edward, Earl of Inverness, Baron Killy-Leigh, son of the Queen. What did he come out and say through his lawyers? He said, these highly subjective determinations are the kind most likely to be hampered by the passage of time as memories fade, false memories are created and witnesses die or otherwise become unavailable. Here, the only witnesses to the purported implied threats under which Guthrie allegedly engaged in unconsented sex acts with Prince Andrew are Jeffrey Epstein, RIP, Ghislaine Maxwell, in jail, and Prince Andrew, the accused, and Guthrie herself. Very convenient for the Duke, isn't it? Anyway, they're going to unseal a non-prosecution agreement, which was negotiated by Alan Dershowitz on behalf of Epstein. Alan Dershowitz, of course, has his own legal case ongoing with Virginia Guthrie. He was also accused of rape and sexual assault. Supposedly in the non-prosecution agreement, which said that Virginia Giuffre could never sue, it had a specific reference to royalty. So if that's not damning evidence in itself, I don't know what is. Daily Express, girl who died, Boris. Daily Mail, girl who died. Interesting article here. Ad says, get this paper on your tablet or phone for 3 months for £1. So that's about a penny a day. The price of the newspaper at the moment is 80p a day. Good to see the price of media is going down. Back to the days of the penny press. Daily Mirror, another Tory haunted by the ghost of Christmas past. That's that man in the middle in the white shirt, Sean Bailey. That's a picture of him. He was running for London mayor and they had a bit of a knees up at the office when London was in tier 2 restrictions and they weren't supposed to meet inside at all. Apparently the party was pretty rowdy and they broke down a door. Anyway, he's quit now as chairman of the London Assembly's Police and Crime Committee. Good luck. Down the bottom, true crime story, iNewspaper, Omicron, Metro, True Crime, Boris, Daily Star. Digging into Dominic Raab for some reason instead of Boris Johnson, which all the other papers are doing. I don't know if it's kind of a delegitimization maneuver on behalf of the Star to kind of take down Dominic Raab because he might be the next leader of the Tory party. Maybe I'm overthinking that. I mean, the Star, I don't think overthink their headlines. So as you can see there by that one. Anyway, Julian Assange is still in jail at Her Majesty's pleasure without fair trial or due process. If you want to stay off corporate, state, social media for the day, just click the link in the description. Alright, thanks, good luck.